I want to get Emmerich over to my house, let him see if he can help me.
Give him some beer. You guys can
He'll take the beer and watch.
That's true.
It's a wonderful way to open a Friday show.
Is Ann tough to live with now that she's a big shot around here?
No, she's great. She's our employee of the month.
I asked for a recount because I thought it was like the 2020 election, you know.
Ann Emmerich is our employee of the month.
I thought David.
Let you park in my space.
I thought David won the thing. I mean, I bet $10 David won it. Now they said they're recounting a little bit.
Well, unfortunately, the
Oh,
rest
are we
of us
on?
we are, and we have to park in the back. We
Are
don't
we
get the
on the
cool.
air?
We don't get the cool parking spot. But it is Friday, and
Ask
that means
me anything but sports. That's the only thing I don't want to talk about because the only thing I don't. Yeah.
leaf raking. I know Darren said it's all going to blow away this
I
morning.
just
so.
took 2 a leave right now because I went home. Instead of working out lift like all those clowns do, I go and just watch them blow right back. You know what I mean?
And you called me the angel of death about 5 minutes ago.
She was looking over me in the sports office, and I said she reminds me of the angel of death coming in here over the top.
I've never heard such a good compliment.
Well, look, I mean, you got to be something special to get the special accolades.
I really don't think it was that hard to get you to walk away from Fred.
You intimidate me a great deal.
Why?
Because you know more about sports than I do by a landslide.
I do not.
Ask anybody here. They all know you know more than I do. They all know that. David thinks he knows more than I do.
Here, I'm crossing out hockey right now. We won't talk about hockey. Does that help?
Well, Michigan State's at Ohio State tonight, so we're opening the Big Ten season tonight at 7, tomorrow at 5.
Michigan's in Madison, I believe, too. They're both gone.
Is that where they are? Wisconsin, Penn State's here next week, and Wisconsin's here after. These Big Ten series are a whole different deal now.
They are.
They're a whole new deal. By the way, my new favorite team in all of sports is the San Jose Sharks.
Why?
No wins,
No
9
wins.
losses, 1 tie.
Oh,
at
9
home
and
last
1.
night, that final once again, Vancouver 10, San Jose 1.
They have, I believe, the exact opposite record as Boston.
Get me a San Jose Sharks hat. 'Cause,
Christmas is coming up. You never know.
10
I'm
to
pretty
1
sure they're on
they
sale.
lost at home. How many tickets are they going to sell more? 10 to 1. An NHL team.
Bad. We were going to talk. I mean, I didn't really have a lot of
Now
hockey
you're
on
all
here.
flustered.
I am, but I was actually going to be talking more about the safety, but save that for next week when we get some more information.
What is it? Oh, the safety of hockey. I asked
in
the
multiple levels, not just
the
NHL.
Penguins are starting to wear some. I don't blame them. I
Not
watched
the Penguins. They're lower levels.
I watched the video of the accident, and you know what? If you didn't know that it was as tragic as it was, it didn't look initially like it was that bad. Have you seen it?
I have.
It didn't look initially like it was different than any other collision. Now, that said, I would seem to think the Players Association is going to have to look at this a little. I'm amazed it doesn't happen more often. These guys run into each other at any level.
The game is faster. The players are bigger.
Yeah. I'm amazed it has. It's like when they were shooting pucks without the nets behind the goal. Sooner or later, somebody's going to get hit, and it's going to be bad, and then you're going to have to change it.
Eventually, goalies had to start wearing masks.
I'm amazed that their goalies survived without those masks in all those years. You were too young then to know that.
I do vaguely remember hockey players not having to wear helmets, though.
Well, that was optional.
Yeah.
And the problem was the ones that did got ridiculed by the ones that didn't.
Is that going to happen with this neck guard, wrist guard,
No, I don't
ankle
think
guard?
so. Not in today's world.
No?
Today's world's different. I mean,
You have a big star in TJ Oshie pushing his fellow NHLers to step up and provide a good example.
I
he's
think Michigan
wearing
State's.
one.
He told me the other day, Nightingale, the coach. He said they're looking at options.
There's
All
money.
you got to do is look at that one time, and you say, why wouldn't you do that? If we had our youngest play high school hockey. If I'd have seen that, I would have been a parent, like all the other parents, going to the coach and say, I think you should wear. Some of them did anyway.
Right.
Some of them did wear neck guards. Not because you're going to get hit by a skate, you can get hit by a puck. If you get hit by a puck in the wrong place here, that's a problem too.
I've been hit with, like my years of covering hockey, I've been hit with pucks, goalie sticks, never escaped.
Yeah, but the difference is yours were accidental and mine were determined they were going to get me one way or the other. I was a target.
Well, that is something that a lot of people are looking into. I'm going to have more on that next week, though, after I talk to a couple of coaches and players. But it's Friday, which means high school football. And a big matchup is our game of the week, Mason versus DeWitt.
And you know what? It's 58 degrees right now.
It's really good football
so that's
weather.
A good football night tonight. No rain. No, the wind's out there. And whether it dies down or not, I don't know. I think this is a terrific matchup tonight. DeWitt at Mason. You got two coaches that are, they're locked into winning, and because of that, their players think the same way. It would be an upset if DeWitt wins, but I'm telling you, don't count them
No?
out of anything. Mason's a favorite. Mason is probably going to win, but the pressure's on Mason. DeWitt will, because they have a lot of young players. The same thing last year. They tend to start a little bit slow, and then as the season goes on, they keep getting better. And by the time they get to the tournament, they don't play like, young players. They play with a lot more experience. They'll be tough to beat tonight. But look, Mason has got a generational team. They're mostly seniors. They're strong everywhere. They're playing at home. But the pressure's on them. DeWitt's, nobody thinks they're going to win. But I think it's going to be a lot closer than it was the first time. So we'll see.
Any other of these matchups?
I think
you
a
wanna
lot
keep
of the
an eye on?
local teams tonight are going to have a problem advancing. Pewamo Westphalia should have absolutely no trouble with Bath. They'll advance. They could make a big run in the tournament. Excuse me. Hazlitt's got a brutally difficult game at Chelsea. That'd be a major upset if Hazlitt won.
Okay.
Lansing Catholic at Ovid Elsie is a toss-up. Catholic's 4-6. They were 3-6, so they beat Michigan Center by a point late. So when they did this last year, they had a losing record, won 2 playoff games. That's a toss-up game, but I wouldn't be surprised if Catholic won it. I think East Lansing's going to win at home, but then if they do and win the district, then they're going to probably go on the road to Caledonia next week, and that'll be very difficult next week. I think they can win tonight over, what is it, White Lake Lakeland.
Yep.
Yeah. Who I've never heard of before. And then who am I missing here?
You got Parma Western versus
That team's
Stevensville.
good. In that area, Parma, Western, and Lumen Christi and PW could play for the state title in Division 7 at Ford Field. And if they do, that thing will be a rock'em, sock'em, knockdown, drag out. That would be, because they're in opposite brackets. Mm-hmm. Now, in the tournament, you can get upsets, but they're very good, both of them, in Division 7.
So Parma Western is playing Stevensville Lakeshore.
Ithaca's 9-0 at, they're 10-0 at 9-1 New Lothrop. And I think
Yes.
New Lothrop's got a great shot to beat them and end their season. They're both very good.
New Lothrop was good when I was in high school. So actually, it's
They still are. Both of them are very good.
our assignment editor is from New Lothrop, so he's pulling for them.
Really?
Yep.
Wow. The things I learn on this thing.
See, I teach you everything.
Jeez.
Mason is also doing very well in boys soccer, and they have a big game tomorrow.
Tomorrow they play at Grand Ledge High School at 3 o'clock against Grand Rapids South. All 4 division state
I have Grand
championship
Rapids Christian.
games
Is
are
that the same
Grand
thing?
Ledge. Grand Rapids. What is it? I think it's Grand Rapids.
I have
Oh, no, it is
Grand
Grand
Rapids.
Rapids
Okay.
Christian. Grand Rapids South, North, East, West, Christian, non-Christian, heathen, savage, whatever. That's who they're. Yeah, they're playing one of them. It'd be a good game. They're both good. What if Mason wins 2 state titles in the same season?
That'd be amazing. Has
There-
any team around here done that?
Yes, Pewamo Westphalia did it in boys and girls basketball in
Okay.
2019. I asked that question on radio, and it took 2 seconds for somebody to, and we remembered it. Yeah,
There you go.
Boys and girls at PW won the state titles, and they're in the same season in basketball in 2019.
I believe back where I'm from, Goodrich was also very close to that in girls basketball and football. So it would be great to see.
See, I learned something here every day I'm here.
One other thing I want to get your take on, the World Series officially ended with the Rangers winning their first title, but it was the least watched Fall Classic in recorded television history.
Do you remember when the Christians took on the Lions in the Coliseum at Rome?
I wasn't there. Maybe Darren
The
was.
TV ratings for that were higher than the World Series this year.
It was down 23% from last year's Astros-Phillies.
Don't tell Fred that he goes ballistic. Although if he didn't watch a game and it cut their audience in half. Yeah, here's come, you know. See
Thankfully, the mics can't pick up through the
I
wall.
wish he listened that well when I'm in there telling him what we need to do. He goes through 2 5-foot walls and hears that. It's a true story. When the Romans took on the Christians, I mean, the Lions stood on a
Lions.
Christian. I got to get the line right.
Yeah.
If I'm going to be a trash talker, you got to get it right. When the Lions faced the Christians in the Roman Coliseum, the TV ratings were higher for that than the World Series. So that's what you got.
What did I thought I had 9.11 million average
It's
from the last five from those 5
If you want to
games.
defend it, it's the highest rated show of each night it was on. But it had 1/3 of the audience that watched the Lions and Las Vegas Raiders Monday night.
Was it a geographical thing since they were both Southwestern teams?
That contributed to it.
Okay.
I tell him I watched that thing and tuned in. I was waiting to see a guy come to the plate whose name I'd heard of. But yet, back when I grew up, I could name every guy, every team, the whole deal.
I grew up a Rangers fan, so I was pretty happy.
I kind of tuned in to see if there was a guy I'd ever heard of.
You've heard of Max Scherzer.
Well, he's the only guy.
Well, there you go.
He
didn't step up to the
and
plate,
I knew
though.
the announcers, and I knew the home plate umpire. I knew the umpire and the announcers. That was where it ended.
Eric wants your take on the Portland versus Hastings game.
Well, Portland's terrific. Portland will win.
Portland will win?
They'll win. What I don't understand about that game is why it's at Hastings. Hastings is 8-2 and Portland's 10-0. Portland is remarkable. They're incredibly well coached. They're brutally tough to play because they don't beat themselves. Their culture there for that small town every single year, reflects the personality of their coach. His son plays on the team, and they've played some tough. They're going to be tough to beat too. If they go out, if somebody's going to have to play extremely well to beat them. They're very good. They'll win tonight. And then after that, I'd have to. But whoever gets them, because they're in Division 4, and that's a good division. But you know what? You got to play Portland too.
Yeah.
So I'm glad he asked because we'll have that because they're the real deal. They're legit.
All right. You can get that later on tonight. What else can people expect? I know Joey's going to be at Mason for Game of the Week.
I'm singing a medley of my greatest hits.
That is why you weren't Employee of the Month.
So, yeah. I was going past that for Employee of the Year. That's what I was shooting for. I was passing out signatures. I was giving away free.
Are they on checks?
I was giving away free candy.
You steal that candy from Ann's desk.
Well, then I give it to somebody else like it's mine, trying to get votes, and I didn't get any votes.
Anyway.
So, of course, you know what happened. We had a beautiful tribute for Ann the other day.
Yes, we did.
And everybody, tears were in everyone's eyes.
They didn't read
So
my
they asked everybody to
email.
write a tribute, and everybody's tribute was beautiful.
They didn't read mine.
But then Mike reads one that says, Ann ought to be very happy she's working with Tim and Fred. So who do you think? As usual.
It was very heartfelt. We did celebrate 10 years.
And you know what made
of
me
Ann.
mad? He didn't even say who wrote it, and everybody knew who it was. What a reputation.
I have that on camera, actually, because we took video of it.
Well, I was a little bitter because I was immediately yelling for a recount
You
and all
were.
that. So,
That was before she was named Employee of the Month.
well, now
The
she's
celebration.
going to be general manager of the company.
She had a birthday this week. She had celebrating 10 years at WILX, and she's Employee of the Month. It is a good week to be. I don't know.
Yeah. Just think how far she'd advance if she could get rid of that albatross husband of hers.
It is awful.
I mean, her dad's a superstar. You know that. Your dad's a superstar.
I do. Yeah.
Her husband isn't quite up to that level yet. He hasn't quite hit that. He's at my league. He's at my level. When if you're going to compare me with an Emmerich, it can't be her. It's got to be Tom.
All right.
All right. You told me this would be 5 minutes.
I did,
knew
and
it
you
was
kept
as
ripping on
usual.
Ann.
As usual, it was hard hitting from the start
It
to
was
finish.
7 minutes.
Yeah.
All right. Tune in for Game of the Week tonight, plus more like.
Yeah, we have our good employees covering that. I'll be like you. But give me a San Jose Sharks hat. They haven't won a game all season. They just came off a 10-1 loss last night.
I'm sure they're giving them away, so I'll look this weekend.
There's room for the games, I can tell you that.